Okay, Nathan Cox here. Everyone, I have lots of people as a remodeler will come and ask me, hey, should I remodel this? What should I do with this? And if I do this in my house, am I going to be able to get my money out of it? That's a big question. The house being one of our biggest investments that people generally have, that's one serious thing, one very serious question to ask. If I do this remodel, am I going to be able to see my money back into it when I come to sell? Well, we got a house here, a pretty average house, should probably sell for about $110,000. It's in South Ozark. Ozark is just south of Springfield, Missouri, for those of you who aren't right here in the local area. I've got a licensed realtor with me here, came in today, Mark Broadway. Go ahead, come on in, Mark. Mark?
Hello.
Glad you're here today.
Thanks, thank you.
Okay, well, Mark, what we got here is we got this house that was built in 1982, is that right?
Right.
Okay. So, and it looks like, if you look around from behind me, nothing has changed since the day it was built.
That's exactly right.
So even though this house is technically a foreclosure, there are houses out there where I've seen where people bought them, lived in them for 30, 40 years, they moved out and literally did nothing. And then they wonder why it won't sell. Now this house is, like I said, being a foreclosure, has its own quirk on that, but let's pretend it's not a foreclosure. Let's pretend this is your house and you're not trying to sell it for $80,000. You're trying to get the $110,000, $115,000 out of it, trying to get your best amount of money you can for your home. So let's go through some things. I'm going to kind of point out some things that I see. I'm going to ask Mark what he thinks as an experienced realtor. We're starting in the kitchen, which is a big room for any home. Wouldn't you agree, Mark? That's probably one of the most important rooms in a home.
Absolutely. Kitchens and baths are the most important.
Okay. Those are the ones I spend most of the time remodeling. Actually, I just got done with a remodel in the kitchen. They spent almost $40,000. A lot of money, but they had it saved up and it was really for them. They're not going to be getting that money back out of the house, but I think they plan on dying in that house, so that's okay. Right here, what I see is I see an ancient stove, which I question if it even works. Now the aluminum foil's clean underneath the burner, so that's nice. But this old magic chef thing, if you asked me what I would do to this kitchen, I would say you kill that, get a decent, not overpriced, really fancy stove, but get something that's new. Along with the overhead vent here light, get that to match. Countertops, we got this old wood grain square cut off edge Formica. Now a lot of people are like, oh cool, you want to go granite? I know granite's down in price since the housing market kind of dropped down, because it used to be about $70 a square foot. Now it's right about just about $40, give or take. I would say that's overkill for this house. I would go with just a nice pre-finished with a rounded backsplash Formica. Mark, what do you think on that?
Absolutely. I mean, you could get some really good looks that would not be very expensive at all. Something like this, without doing any more additions, you could come in with maybe $500 worth of countertops and do very well with that. That would be quite a bit.
Right, because you would think that granite would probably be going overboard for this house.
Probably so. It depends on what you want to look for, but sure.
If you were keeping the house, maybe not so bad, but since this house is trying to sell, I think there'd be extra money that you're not going to see back.
Right, exactly.
Okay. And then on the cabinets, we see this. We still have the 1982 hardware, which may come back in another decade, but right now it's not. We do have some darker woods, which I think is going to sell better than the light woods if it was stained with a honey oak. This is more of a, what do you call it, almost like an English walnut or something?
Yeah.
So I think the stain, in my opinion, looks pretty decent paired with a proper countertop and some new, maybe nickel satin finished hardware. What do you think, Mark? Throw something out here, something I haven't said?
Absolutely. You've got a couple of things that, of course, first of all, everybody is very visual when it comes to upgrades. The first thing I would do is probably change out this 1982 light. Put in something.
You guys can't see that, but right here, I'm going to put a picture so you guys can see the light fixture that Mark's talking about, along with the light fixture in the dining room, which is a gem. But you guys can't see it because I don't have a working cameraman with me, but I'll put those pictures so you guys can see what we're talking about. But yeah, light fixture, that's kind of scary.
But the point that Nathan brings out as far as the appliances, upgrading those to some degree is going to make a big difference in this house. The countertops will make a huge difference. Believe it or not, these cabinets really look in great shape for a foreclosure anyway. So some cleanup, somebody really wanted to be ambitious and paint them, then that's something that kind of gives it a little bit more of a new, fresh look. You got wallpaper along the back from the backsplash.
Oh, come on, I like the wallpaper.
But
I like it on the plaid. It looks like I've got some pajamas here and it's Christmas time.
Exactly. But you know, taking that out, putting in a nice backsplash would not be too expensive either. So depending on the budget, you could come in with a very modest budget and really dress this kitchen up very well. That would get a very good dollar out of this, and you would be able to get all of your money back, to be honest with you, in a house like this, with some real care on doing the upgrades.
Okay. I totally like what you said, and I think on top of the light fixture on the ceiling, which you also can't see, I'm not sure if it can show really well on the camera with the lighting in here, but this ceiling is very stained. I imagine they had smokers in here. There's also, it looks like grease stains, like they fried maybe a lot and it splattered. Some good kills, and then some ceiling paint. Paint goes a long ways, get these walls painted with a nice neutral color, and the ceilings. I think that this room feels very dirty because of that.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Absolutely. You know, this doesn't have a popcorn ceiling like you would find in a lot of homes of this age, but and that's a great thing because there's a lot of expense in taking that down and a lot of work. So fixing these stains up here, which would not take a lot of work and a lot of expense, would be very, very good for that.
Okay. Now the next thing I want to say, and again you guys can't see it, but I'll throw the picture in right here. You gotta love the vinyl here. It's still the original vinyl. I mean, we've got the blue flowers and the squares and everything. Like I said, you guys can see it there in the picture. Flooring choices. Now, as a homeowner, my home is, give or take, worth about $160,000. And if I do flooring, I like, and I also recommend this to my customers, when they say, what do I want to put in? I say, well, you like tile and actual solid hardwood. They generally last the longest and give you the best return for your money. Then when buyers come in for a house, they like seeing solid hardwood and tile. Any arguments, addings to that, anything?
No, not at all. Those are really good choices, and depending again on the budget, if you were to come in with a really nice ceramic tile to come in here with the kitchen, that's something that's going to go very well in this neighborhood and in this house. If you wanted to go a little bit higher expense, put in hardwood, really dress it up nice. But either way, it's going to give it a really nice, clean look.
Now with this house being a little bit on the lower side, you know, maybe just about 110, what is your thought? Now we'll throw another picture up here from the living room. You can see you got the old brown, I don't know, it's not shag, I don't know what that is.
That's a sculpted carpet.
Sculpted carpet, that's why it's got the lines in it?
Right.
Okay, I didn't really know the name for that. That's got to go.
That's right.
Okay, I know people would ask, what would you think of doing laminate? You know, maybe even from the dining room, kitchen area, all the way through the living room. Would that be, I know you can get out of that cheaper than you can doing tile and solid hardwood. Would it sell well with that?
Absolutely. Laminate is extremely popular these days, and for the expense, if a person wanted to go all out with laminate in the kitchen, dining room, and the living room area, that would be a great choice as well. It's kind of a personal preference as far as what you're looking for. If you wanted the tile, you've got a lot of options to kind of give it a little bit more dimension and break up the look of it for not really that much more of an expense. So, you know, again, depending on the budget, that would be a great way to go.
Okay. Well, you would say, and I'm sure, I think you would agree with this statement, all the flooring in this house has to go.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a big thing. People look at the floors, and if they see really old, rotten floors, they're just going to walk out to the next house.
Right, right. Yeah.
No matter how much furniture or rugs they put on top of it after they move in, when they walk in, they want to see floors that look decent.
Sure. You know, again, everybody's visual, and when someone comes into a house, no matter how old it is, there are certain expectations. And if you can give the look that exceeds those expectations, you're going to have a greater chance of appealing to those buyers, and they're going to want to buy that house most likely.
Right.
Those are things that are very attractive to buyers these days. It also shows that the person that lives there cares about their home, wants to keep it current, wants to keep things up to date, and chances are they've really cared for that home. So it takes away questions down the road as they're looking through the house.
Right.
What about this? I wonder if they've maintained that.
Because if they see a couple of problems even if they're not serious structural problems, if they see a couple of problems that they feel are big, don't they start to kind of nitpick everything from there?
Absolutely. They start questioning in their
It's a
mind.
domino effect right down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. It just continues on, and it may not have anything to do with anything as far as the house, but if they see something that just isn't right or is broken, then they're going to start to question anything that they run across.
Right. Okay. Well, let's scurry on over to the bathroom and take a look at that room and see how bad that one is.
Okay.
Okay, now this one has a unique bathroom situation. This is the master bath right behind us, and it's half in the room and half out. We got kind of the vanities out, kind of halfway in the room here behind us. Kind of hard to see. Like in the kitchen, the cabinets are in good condition. They need some cleaning, a little TLC, maybe some new hardware. Mark, light fixture, love it or hate it?
Well, depends on how old you really are. And those were really popular back in the day, in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
And those need to go out. There's no question about it.
You don't have the tag lighting?
No, it's just not in it these days.
Maybe change that out for a couple of double hanging pendulum style light fixtures. That'd be great. So we have maybe a little bit of electrical work there to be done, or maybe some of them have a track, small track that can come off the center box, so you could avoid, moving the electrical. But modern lighting, big time. I'm sure the woman of the house would appreciate something that has better lighting. Again, the wallpaper. This is a love it or hate it.
Yeah.
I think we all hate it.
That's right.
So we're talking new countertop, new sink, new lights. All very simple things to do, nothing extravagant. Wallpaper's got to go. Wallpaper sucks to strip. I can say that from experience, but it needs to be done.
Right.
Some fresh paint. The shower, really can't take you in there because the room's kind of tight and there's not enough light. So I'm going to put a picture. I'm going to stand here next to Mark, trying without blocking him. So right over here I can put you a picture. Now you can see what we're talking about here. This is the main working part of the bathroom. It's got the shower and the stool. And what we have in here, I don't know. I mean, personally, I would like to see a brand new toilet dropped in there. Of course, new flooring. If we didn't set it before, the flooring, we're going to set it again. Flooring in there, or have a flooring in the whole house. Small bathroom, so some nice tile will go in there, real nice, without being very expensive. Because we're talking, I don't know, 15, 18 square feet maybe.
Right, maybe.
I mean, something like that. So you can go pretty expensive on your tile and that's not spend very much because of the small square footage. The shower thing, Mark, what's your honest thoughts on that? Where you see, if you guys don't know what that is a pieced together kit. It's got the shower pan and it's got the back walls are pieced together, and then they've got to trim it off, which I thought was interesting, using the wood trim there in the shower. So it's not really where I would put wood trim. The fact that it's very, very dirty, that goes without saying, that can't stay. But do you think it'd be worth spending the money to rip that out and put something in new?
Oh, absolutely. The thing I would do with this, and again, you can't see it, but it's just that insert in there with the gold frame shower door. All of that would come out. And to be honest with you, for not just a whole lot of money, you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck replacing that. What I would do is I would go back with probably a solid glass door. I would certainly do the stand-up shower still because there's really not enough room for even a tub. But I would go back with all tile on the walls. And
so you would tile the shower walls?
Absolutely.
Get a new fiberglass pan?
Yeah.
And they can't see it because I'm doing the picture-in-picture right here, so they know exactly what we're talking about. That's why I'm standing over here next to you. But,
sure.
So they can see for lack of better words, the nastiness of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a good size for a small shower like this in a house like this. It's not a bad size, but definitely I just rip it out and go back in with something a lot cleaner. There's certainly inserts that you can go into that would be less expensive,
right,
but you're really not going to get your bang for your buck.
Now, I like doing tile on the shower walls. I do it for a lot of my customers. So don't get me wrong, I like that, but I'm glad to hear that you, as a realtor, see what people like, what they don't
Yeah.
like, and what sells, what doesn't sell. That,
Yeah. Yeah, again, they're going to look for something that's modern. They want something that has some pizzazz to it, and for not a lot of money, you're going to be able to do those kind of things. One thing I was going to point out too on the sink over here, there's no mirror, so you would want to put some sort of a mirror here. Certainly the hardware, I've dressed that up. I would put some sort of a I've just put in a new sink and a new faucet over here to give it more of a modern look as well. As far as the cabinets, you could still use those, put in a new countertop. All of that really would not be that expensive, and you're going to get your money back out of it. Get more bang for your buck.
Yeah, well, definitely that's. I mean, this house just isn't going to sell the way it's at.
No, no.
And that's what we're talking about here, because we do want to be able to sell your home. I mean, when you're ready to sell it, you want to be able to sell it. And that's what a lot of people, even if you've lived with it for years or other people have lived with it for years, that when someone comes into the house as a new buyer, that's not what they want to see. I think that's the best way to maybe put it.
One of the things, and you really raise a good point, Nathan, because when you live in the house, you're there for many, many years, you really don't think about those things because you're comfortable with it. You like it, it works, there's no reason to change it out. So it's difficult to think like a buyer, pulling yourself out of the situation, think like a buyer would. And that's where it comes in, where yourself or me as a real estate agent can come in and be objective and be able to point out some of these things and let you decide as the seller what fits your budget. What is it that helps make it the best product for the market that day. So bringing that out that sellers need to have some sort of an objective opinion that gives them the opportunity to get some other ideas is very, very worth it.
Right, I like that. Okay, now that almost wraps it up. I'm gonna go ahead and I want to take a look at one of the bedrooms, give some basic tips. The kitchens and the bathrooms, we started with that because that is one of the most important areas of the house. It's the most, they hold the most weight when it comes to people looking at the house. But let's scurry on over to one of the bedrooms and take a look over there. Alright, here we are in one of the bedrooms. This is going to be our last room that we stopped on. We're going to do here briefly. A couple of things that I have to point out. Again, the really weird old light fixture up top there. I'll show you a picture over here so you guys can see it. The carpet, of course, is the same carpet that was in the living room that I already showed you a picture of. So that's got to go. Now, Mark, a lot of people, some people want to do laminate across the whole house. I see a lot of people these days that still like the tile in the kitchen and bathrooms. They like the hollow hardwood in the living rooms, sometimes in dining rooms, depending on if they're going to continue the tiling from the kitchen or how that's set up. Hallways. But they still like carpet in the bedrooms, kind of softer, warmer feel.
Right.
From a realtor's point of view, from what buyers are looking for in these days, in our area at least, from what you know, what do you think?
Well, that is a very, very much of a personal preference. That really doesn't sway one way or the other from what I've seen as far as selling a house.
Okay.
As long as it's clean, as long as it's somewhat up to date, then you're good to go. Most people look at it that if they put in laminate or hardwood in all the bedrooms, you can put a rug down. Other people look at it that when they wake up in the morning, they want to put their feet on something really soft and cushy.
Okay.
So, it's really a personal preference type of thing.
So it's just 6 one way, half a dozen the other when it comes to that.
Exactly. Doing something like that, taking it out, if you're wanting to remodel a house and just rip the carpet out and update it, I would definitely go with whatever is the least expensive.
Most economical there.
Yeah, most economical for your budget.
I was thinking that's where you were going, but I wasn't sure which way. But really, you just want some clean, modern flooring.
Right.
Is really the biggest key.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
And put together, if you're going to try to install laminate yourself, do take care on that, because I've seen a lot of people try to do it themselves and follow directions. And it's nothing against anyone's intelligence, it's your experience. I've seen plenty of laminates that aren't snapped together right, that aren't cut around door jambs right, and you've spent a lot of money upgrading your floor, and you almost could have just left the old flooring in there. From when someone walks in, they're like, you know, you got a gap there by the doorway. You got panels here that aren't snapped together. You know, so it's almost like a completely wasted effort there.
Absolutely. Just like we talked about earlier, that you know, people are very visual, and when they see something that doesn't look right, they want to know. They're questioning the quality of what was done. So that is a big point.
Okay. And speaking of that, things that are done halfway or started, if you started to try to upgrade things in your house, you gotta get it finished. And things that you thought was extra cool, maybe it was in your particular taste, you need to think kind of more of a neutral a thing. We have this very interesting trim that doesn't show up anywhere. I think there's one piece Mark said it was in the hallway,
Right.
but it doesn't show up anywhere else in the house. We have just a standard little closet, other than it needs some paint and cleaning. It's really just a little closet, which is fine. Then we have this rope bead, and then like it looks like a really fancy baseboard with a rope, and then we have the rosettes here in the corners, which those are normally put in corner pieces. So instead of doing a mitered edge like this, that you have your trim that goes across the top, your trim that goes from the bottom, and they use that as a corner piece. They look like little speakers up there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But say something, Mark. Anything?
That does not do anything to sell the home. I mean, it just won't do it at all.
Yeah, so that just needs to go away. Go away. Anything that's just, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the point you made earlier as far as being neutral, that is absolutely imperative, because people, again, being visual, they see these really bold colors or really odd things like this, and really make, they see that as work. When they walk into a house, believe it or not, buyers will walk into a house trying to get in their mind, I don't want to buy this house. And that is something that may be down in their subconscious, but they want a reason not to buy the house.
That's a big responsibility at home. That's a big purchase, and then you're...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And lots of money to plunk down at one time. So when they walk in and they see something like this, that's just work. And I don't need that. So, take care of it, and it'll help your days on market. It will help you get a little bit more money for your house. Not that it's going to add anything, it's just going to get you out of the house that you're trying to sell.
Right, got it. Okay, well, let's wrap this up here. I think we've been here long enough. We pointed out lots of things. I hope this helped you guys kind of make some decisions of your own. Please, before you make any final decisions, talk to someone who's got experience, whether it's a local contractor or a realtor or both. That'd be great. Now, if you are in the local area here in Springfield Metro, and you like what Mark said and you want to talk to him personally, down below in the description I'll have all his contact information with his website and phone number and all that jazz, so you can holler at him and plug his ear for your home. So Mark, thanks again for joining me today.
Thank you.
And thank you guys.